Lewis Howes recently hosted Dr. Rahul Jandial on his number one podcast, The School of Greatness. And Dr. Jandial is not only a brain surgeon, but he's also a neuroscientist. So he cuts the brain open and he studies the brain. And if anyone knows the human brain, it's clearly this guy. And in this episode, he told Lewis the most important skill for anyone to learn is the skill of emotional regulation. So this brain expert says that out of all the skills and traits you could possibly have, I would have thought maybe resilience or something like the ability to recover from setbacks, but no. He says emotional regulation is the most important skill. So let's just talk for a second about what that actually means, because he goes on to say emotional regulation is the life skill to deal with challenges and rev your body down. If you don't cultivate it, as you get older, you're going to have more rampant and more uncontrollable emotional reactions. And I'm sure a lot of us see that. I definitely saw that in my life. This leads to problems at work. This leads to problems at home. Essentially, we're no longer making good decisions from a centered place or from a grounded place. Well, the first step in emotional regulation is awareness. And in another great book from Brené Brown, she says that humans can experience up to 87 different emotions and feelings, yet the average person can name 3. So if we have no ability to know what we're feeling, then how can we regulate those feelings? That's the main thing I want to teach you today. I want to show you exactly how to become aware of your emotional state and use it to your advantage. And I want to show you exactly how to do that in less than 3 minutes by asking only 3 questions. My name is Gavin McHale, and I am a business performance coach, and it is my job to make sure you get paid what you deserve. And one of the ways we can do that is through emotional regulation. So research on the topic of what we call quantum physics has been in the works for decades. In fact, many say that Albert Einstein was probably one of the founding fathers of this idea. It's a little that we're a little unsure about it. A lot of people fight this. Essentially, the research shows that your mind, or what's happening internally, and matter, or what's happening around you, are so intimately connected that it's impossible to separate the two. This all came about when researchers expected that the atoms they were studying, electrons, photons, all that stuff that we learned in high school, would behave in a certain way. They thought, and exactly how I was taught in school, that they were like planets floating around the sun. But when they actually looked at the microscope, the atoms changed their behavior. And when they looked away, the atoms changed their behavior again. And this is called the observer effect. And it showed that the researcher's mind was affecting the matter they were observing. Them actually looking at the matter was changing the way it was behaving. What does this mean for us as high performers who want to win at life, who want to win at business? What we think about actually creates what happens around us. Everything is energy, and that energy creates a vibration that is constantly changing based on our thoughts, based on our feelings. So if you can think better thoughts and feel better feelings, theoretically, your external circumstances will start to improve. Your energy, your vibration actually changes your external circumstances. So your vibration is just like the frequency of a radio station, right? You wouldn't tune into 87.9 FM and expect to hear the music playing on 103.5 FM, would you? So your job, if you want a different outcome, you need to tune yourself into the radio station you want to hear. The question is, how do we do that? That's great. It's a great idea, Gav, but how do we do that? So according to Esther Hicks, who has popularized a lot of this work in recent decades, your emotions are your most sophisticated interpreter of the world around you. Your feelings represent an inner guidance system or an inner navigational system. The way you feel is an indicator of your alignment with your intentions and with the best version of yourself and where you want to go. Everyone has emotions and everyone can access them at any point. The problem is, as I said earlier, most of us have cut ourselves off from how we feel, right? Most of us can only name 3 emotions that we're feeling. Happy, sad, and angry are usually those 3. But you can tune yourself into a better radio station by improving the feelings you're feeling and the thoughts you're thinking. However, you need to become aware of what you're actually feeling first. So the first step is becoming aware of what we're feeling, and then we can use that as a guide to guide our behavior. The real win here, though, that isn't talked about enough is that you're going to make better decisions from a higher vibrational place if you do this work. And most humans make 35,000 plus decisions a day. So imagine if you can just make a few of those from a higher vibrational place. Okay. This is the emotional guidance scale. And it comes about as close as I've found to hitting the correlation between how we feel, or that internal piece, and the vibration we're putting out into the world, or the external piece, the external circumstances around us. As you can see, it's very easy to spiral down from a seemingly neutral emotion into a very negative mindset, right? The bottom of this scale is fear, insecurity, powerlessness, victim mindset. None of these are emotions that are aligned with moving forward and with becoming your best self. And unfortunately, a lot of people make their decisions from this place, right? You play small so you can continue to play the victim because you're afraid. You avoid the difficult conversations so you can pander to your insecurity, pander to your fear of not being liked. The good news is you can also spiral up from neutral quite easily. On the other end of the spectrum, we have joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. These are the vibrations we want to be in the majority of the time, because when we're living there, our inner navigational system is telling us we're in line with the best version of ourselves. These are the feelings that change our external circumstances in a positive way, right? You take the scary actions in your business because you know you have the knowledge it will lead to better results. You ask the uncomfortable questions, and have the difficult conversations in your life because you know you feel empowered and you're going to learn and you're ready to have freedom in your life. Now, we all want more in life and business. Maybe you want more money or a better relationship or more muscular physique or maybe more time with your kids. But think about what these things bring you. Think about what you actually want, right? Money likely makes you feel more powerful, empowered. Your relationship likely makes you feel loved and appreciated. Maybe your physique helps you feel more confident and empowered. Maybe more time with your kids allows you to truly appreciate life and feel joy seeing them grow up. Notice how all of these feelings are the ones at the top of the emotional guidance scale. And that's really what we're all chasing when it comes down to it. We're chasing a feeling. We're not chasing money. We're not chasing physique. We're chasing a feeling. So how do we start moving towards everything we want? I suggest it's through a very simple daily practice called a daily vibe check. This literally takes less than 3 minutes, and it can completely shift your vibration for the day. You're going to become aware of what you're actually feeling. You're going to be able to use your emotions to guide your actions and decisions. And over time, you're going to become better and better and better at self-regulating or improving that emotional state. So we're going to start right now by practicing this. I want you to take a couple of deep breaths, get into a bit of more relaxed state, and ask yourself some questions. So let's start right now. One more big breath into your belly and let it go. And the first question of the three is, what am I feeling? My favorite tool, because I often struggle with this, is called feelingswheel.com, or you can pull up that emotional guidance scale as well. But basically, we just got to figure out what are 1 to 3 emotions that we're feeling right now. Could be good, could be bad. It doesn't really matter. Remember, emotions don't really mean anything. They're all just feedback. They're all just an inner navigational system for us. So question 1 is, what am I feeling? Like I said, I struggle with this, so I still use some tools to help me. Question 2, what does this feel like? I encourage you here to check in with your physical body. Now, if you've ever read the book called The Body Keeps the Score, you will recognize that our emotions are stored in our body, okay? Physically stored in our body. Okay, so some examples of what you might be feeling, right? If you're feeling nervous or excited, is butterflies in the stomach, right? If you're feeling stressed or anxious, you might feel tension in your neck and shoulders. A lot of people tend to feel that. But this could also be as simple as your low back hurts or you feel your knees sore from your run yesterday. It doesn't really matter. What the job here is, the reason why we ask this question is to try and learn what our body is trying to tell us, but also to get you out of your logical brain. Because if we're not careful, you're going to say, oh, I'm feeling sad and angry right now. Why am I feeling sad and angry? I shouldn't feel sad and angry. I'm wrong for feeling sad and angry. And then we're judging ourselves for how we're feeling when we're trying to do a check-in on how we're feeling to help us improve our decision making and action taking, right? So it can be a slippery slope if we don't get you out of that logical brain and into the subconscious, into what we're feeling. Okay. So question number 3, we want to use that inner navigational system that we've been given. So question 3 is, what is this trying to teach me? Right? What is this trying to teach me? If this were an inner navigational system, a GPS in my body that I could use at any time, what might it be trying to teach me? For example, a few days ago, I was feeling overwhelmed and grumpy. I do this every single day, by the way, proactively in my journal. Okay. So that when I need it, when I'm in a situation where I need emotional regulation, I'm going to be better at it because I've practiced it. So a few days ago, I woke up overwhelmed and grumpy. Well, I didn't really know why I was feeling that way. I just knew I was feeling some kind of way. When I asked the question, what is this trying to teach me? I realized I had like 3 or 4 action items that were like hanging in the balance and just annoying little things that only I could do. Little things like calling an insurance company about something or checking in on something that needed to be done. Right. And when I listed them out, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense. These are kind of hanging over my head. And I put it in my calendar to do every single one of those that day. They took less time than I expected. And boom, I felt way better. I felt way lighter. This is an excellent example of how your inner navigational system can help you. Instead of me showing up, in a grumpy mood for my clients, for my wife, and not being the best version of myself. So that's it. 3 questions. What am I feeling? What does this feel like? And what is this trying to teach me? And if you're feeling some lower level emotions, you can do what Abraham Hicks calls reaching for a better feeling thought. Basically, take a look at the scale, the emotional guidance scale, what emotion or what word closest aligns with how you're feeling, and start to see if you can work your way up the guidance scale. Even working up 2 or 3 levels will put you in a higher vibration, will put you in a better place to making a decision from a place of frustration and annoyance instead of fear and depression, making a decision from pessimism instead of from rage, right? When we can make a decision from a better place, we are going to put ourselves in a better position to succeed. So I hope this has been helpful for you. My encouragement is to practice this every single day. Write it down in the morning or in the evening or both, and watch the next time that you need to regulate your emotions and respond to a situation. Watch how that improves. Hope this has been helpful. We'll talk soon.